It was the year 2010. It was around right before my 30th birthday. My right fingers, like thumb and index finger, started shaking a little bit, and I thought it might be a pinched nerve in my neck. I thought it might be carpal tunnel. So I went to see my general doctor. He wasn't sure. I went to see a neurologist eventually. And then probably right before the summer started, now I'm 30 years old, I see a neurologist and he says to me, well, given your symptoms, it's likely you have a brain tumor. And the guy just had no empathy. He was like, yeah, you probably have a brain tumor, and I'm gonna go get lunch.
It's hard. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's such a weird disease in the sense that in some people it progresses very, very slowly. In other people, it's, bams right away.
So September rolls around, I get the MRI, and it turns out I don't have a brain tumor. So he says, well, you probably have Huntington's disease, which makes a brain tumor seem like a good deal. And then in October 2010, I saw Miodrag Velikovic, who's still my neurologist, and he diagnosed me with Parkinson's.
When I first was diagnosed, I can remember that every night when I went to bed and every morning when I woke up, I said, oh my God, I have Parkinson's. For months, it's, oh my God, I have Parkinson's.
I said, I'm assuming I'm gonna have to go on drugs. Are the drugs gonna make me lose my hair? And he said, I've never been asked that question before.
The first thought was, that's really scary.
I never really smoke. I always took care of myself, and yet I have a disease to which there is no cure.
Here's the thing. I also work for the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and we do a lot of work with advocacy and public health, and here are the spokespeople for the Fox Foundation. Michael, Ryan Reynolds, Sergey Brin, the head of Google, Bryan Roberts. I'm the best looking one out of them.
At a certain point, I informed myself more about the disease and the state of therapies, and saw that I could make a positive difference. And I think that is, that's kind of the tipping point where I said I could stay on the bench or I could get in the game. And, you can either be a victim or you can be proactive.
This month is November month of giving, and there's something going on, a hashtag called Unselfie. It's a selfie with a sign saying why you give to charity.
Probably after a year, decided to tell people, because I was getting a little more symptomatic. I was having right arm tremor. And it was funny, when I was public speaking, I could be speaking to 1,000 people, and my arm might be tremoring slightly, but I would find that one person in the crowd who was watching my arm, and it would throw me off. And at a certain point, I was thinking, do these people think I'm a drug addict? Do they think I'm an alcoholic? Because I'm really not that interesting. So I finally decided to tell people through the Ithaca College's school newspaper.
At the point that we discussed it, it wasn't to be made public, but he knew that he did want to make it public in a very positive way. So I thought that that was a very brave thing, and it was a wonderful thing to do, given that we are at an educational institution, and the way that Bryan looks at it is it's all part of education.
Here you go, here you go, here you go.
My goal would be to one day go to work for Fox and have it out of business. And we'll work every day to doing that. We're not here to be, a fundraising arm or raising awareness 20, 30 years from now. If 5 years from now we have a cure and we're done, that's the goal.
Who's taking the selfie?
Where's my photographer? I'm not sure he's here, so we're going to take it with our iPhone.
So the Fox Foundation focuses on translatable research, which is basically we fund promising research that can make an impact in individuals' lives, today or tomorrow, but not 30 years from now.
Wow, this looks good. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. We're going to tweet this out to the Fox Foundation. We have a little sign hyping the Fox Foundation and the IC Park School. I think we're going to do it this way so we can get everyone right here. Smile. 1, 2, 3.
Michael J. Yo!
Smile.
People with Parkinson's face a lot of different challenges. I think the symptoms that people are most common with are the tremors, which is just some shaking, some rigidity and difficulty moving. Also, people with Parkinson's experience often balance and gait problems or with walking. So those are, I think, the most common motor symptoms. There's a whole list. There's like 30 non-motor symptoms, so things that don't involve, the physical body in terms of moving.
I think 13 down is probably dittos. The first symptom for me was a slowness.
Fancy jug.
My handwriting was very small. In some cases, I would actually have to use my left hand to get my right hand to write. I don't have a tremor in my hand, but my foot jiggles around, especially when I sit for any length of time. I can sort of, if I consciously think about it, I can make it stop. But if you're not thinking about it, it'll just sort of go wild.
The really challenging thing about Parkinson's is there is this list of symptoms, but not everybody gets all of them. So everyone kind of gets their own particular special mix of symptoms. So it's important for everyone to know what could possibly be a symptom or side effect of Parkinson's, because it could be different for every single person.
My worry is that there'll become a time where he feels like he can't work anymore, or that it's really detracting from the quality of his life significantly, and that's tough to think about and hard to see.
That's a great point, because if we could have another win when people get back.
I get fatigued during the day and I might limp a little, but I still put in 70, 80 hours a week at a high level, I think. And it's funny, that's actually what I think helps me fight the disease, is the fact that I use my brain so much, as much as an AD can, and really engage. I think with anything in life, if you go the other way and just say I'm sick and don't do anything, and you atrophy and waste away.
I do think that will lead to quicker and greater success, just because it's really everyone pitching in.
The only thing that annoys me sometimes is when I perceive people less talented than me, because I'm very competitive, almost try to get a leg up on me because of Parkinson's, because I might be a little tired or something. But I often wonder, do people, since I'm open with it, use my disease to kind of elbow me out of things? That's not good.
There's two main things for people who have Parkinson's. To work with your doctor to kind of fine-tune your medication, and then to make sure you take them on time and how the doctor says you should, with food, after food. The second thing is exercise. Every single study about exercise and Parkinson's says that it is beneficial. Some studies say it's as important as the medication regimen to stay physically active.
One of the things that I've learned is that it's really important to get both my exercise and my rest. Bryan is much younger. He's on the go all the time. And I say to him, you still need to figure out how to get your exercise and rest.
I'm a highly competitive guy, so the fact that I can't play at the level that I used to, now whether that's because of Parkinson's or because I'm just getting older, it really annoys me. So I gave away my golf clubs. I used to be a really good golfer. And I've stopped playing tennis because my neck game was affected by the symptoms a little bit. I'm basically right arm tremor. But I'm thinking that was a mistake. What's really interesting is Michael J. Fox, when he gets out onto the rink, because he grew up playing hockey, his symptoms disappear when he skates. And actually the same is for me when I'm out on the baseball field, fielding ground balls. Unless I'm having a really bad symptomatic day, your body kind of goes back to muscle memory. So you forget you have Parkinson's, basically. So in a way, I like athletics because it reminds me of who I used to be.
Hit me in the chest. Go on, you got the runner. Stop it.
I don't think she knows I have Parkinson's, to be honest. And how will she define that? I don't know.
Go get it, go get it, go get it.
I'd rather her just look at me as someone who's strong, who's energetic, and, occasionally has some more challenging moments, and then, she can figure it out on her own time.
Hit me in the chest. step and throw.
I don't think that it in any way detracts from his relationship with her. There are definitely times when I know he's not feeling well, but he can put that on the back burner for her.
The disease is always messing with your body. Your body's always fighting back against the disease. And then you come home and you're chasing after a kid and maybe you only slept 2 hours the night before. So fatigue, that's probably the biggest challenge, to be honest, right now.
Yeah, there you go.
I see her as like my coach. She pushes me, which is good.
All right.
And while she's probably more like a brutal coach like Bobby Knight, she's not going to let me sit around, right? Because that's not what 3-year-olds do. They move around, they dance, whatever, and you just got to match that intensity, and I'm willing to match it.
All right. You get one shot. Too close. Too close. Come here. Throw. Oh! One shot, one kill. Pound it out. Bam.
People say, you know, I've inspired them to get out of the house and volunteer at a soup kitchen. Because, I mean, that's the thing. You got Parkinson's, well, tough, big fucking deal. There are a lot worse things in life to have. And you got to help those people. You're lucky in many respects.
Okay.
You never win.
I never win. Put this back on there.
I no longer think, like, why me? Instead, I say, who better than me to have this?
This can't be done. Oh, he did it! He did it! He did it! All right, we ended a tie.
You just live with it as you go through your life. So that's kind of what I got to do. I got to go through my life.
Before you have Parkinson's, you don't think about, okay, you know, what are the things that are going to be trials and tribulations when you get down the road. It took me a long time to take one day at a time. I think there was several months where I was years in advance kind of thing, thinking about what was going to happen down the road and all those kinds of things.
Where am I supposed to sit? Great. I'm a very positive person, but anyone can get negative. There's just no fucking time for that. It's work, 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 and then parent. And, you know, if I want to have a pity party, I'm going to have to do it at 3 a.m. because that's the only time I have available.
Mom? Can you keep the doors over by me?
And even now, she always goes to me, you're a tough guy. So I think she sees that there are struggles, then I just power through them.